Zach's got the first story, some Twitter drama.
Yeah, you could call it that, or just Elon Musk doing the Elon Musk thing. Goes out here and says, yo, I'm rich. I'm ready to make this thing happen. I'm going to buy Twitter. If I have to go straight to the shareholders to do it, I will do that. I will spend $46 billion to make this happen. And he is out here saying this thing. I guess he really wants Twitter. It's interesting to see him writing this story for the length of time that he has done so. So yeah, let's talk about this. A lot of speculation as to whether or not Elon Musk will introduce more crypto features to Twitter should he be successful in his quest to buy the social media giant. But still, it's all a bit TBD. But here's this latest ploy saying, hey, I'll go to the shareholders if I need to. Will, I'm going to toss it down to you. What is your thought on the latest here from Elon Musk?
So a little bit separately, yesterday he also announced a new funding round for the Boring Company, which is like a company that basically makes tunnels underground so people can drive on them. So it's another company that is now worth $1 billion that he has founded. So that's like a side note, pretty interesting to look at all the successful companies that he has funneled money into or put time into. And now he set his eyes on Twitter, which is the public square. So it's fascinating from my perspective to look at these things, but like he just keeps nailing it and being successful with them and like leading the bleeding edge of technology here. And then he's circling back and wants to influence the town hall, the public square, and really own that center of conversation. He keeps saying that he wants it to be like a platform for free speech. He wants to open that up more. He wants to take away all the moderation that he thinks has been unfair to both sides of political parties and both sides of political bents. So hopefully that is the case. I think Twitter should be a place for free speech. On the other hand, it's difficult to say that someone's going to do it correctly, right? There's a lot going on Twitter. Like there's a lot of conversations on Twitter. It's really hard to build these tools. It's really hard to build like API curated automation tools that can filter out really negative things across Twitter. I think anyone who's been on Twitter for a little bit gets some sort of weird DM or gets a response from somebody they don't want to get a response from. It's just part of being on Twitter. And I think for the most part, Twitter does a decent job at it. Lately, the bots have been just like out of control. But for the most part, I think people would say like, you don't have as much stuff as you maybe think you would have with how broad of an application Twitter is. But it's not good enough for Elon. He wants to change it completely, and he wants to go in there and make it available for everyone. Jen, I want to throw it to you and get your take on this.
I just want to say, what a time to be alive. I just love that we can live through Elon Musk's era and see him do all of these wonderful things. I mean, every company he touches hits $1 billion. And I don't know what Twitter will look like if he is able to acquire it. I've said this on the show before. I just wonder if Elon's vision for Twitter is the same as the Twitter users' vision for the future. And maybe it is. And if so, I hope that he gets it. For me, this story has really shone a light on the Twitter board. So I was reading yesterday some Jack Dorsey tweets. He's come out and said that the Twitter board has been dysfunctional for a very long time. I think there was a tweet that said he would love to talk about it, but he actually can't. And so I wonder what's going to come out of this Elon Musk Twitter saga when it comes to the actual Twitter board. Jack Dorsey is going to be leaving the board this year, I believe, at the end of May. And so I wonder what kind of repercussions it's going to have for those people who sit on the board. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see, as I say so often on this show.
I mean, it also comes, right on the heels of Tesla earnings. They shared an update on their Bitcoin holdings. Definitely remained unchanged in Q1. They have $1.26 billion in Bitcoin sitting in the reserve there over in Tesla proper. So Tesla is still a force within the Bitcoin world. So it's going to be interesting to see if this also ultimately comes to pass. If we're going to see Twitter, Elon's vision, Twitter EV, the hard fork of Twitter into Twitter EV.
Think about the memes.
Would be pretty wild. There would be some pretty spicy memes in Twitter EV, and who knows? I don't know. Maybe it'll happen.